Okay, we're going to now meet Jennifer Beharrell, a Courtney woman who says she's crowdfunding to treat a breast cancer. It's an unusual one and has caused her to turn to crowdfunding. It has raised the vast majority of the $24,000 that she needs to pay for the breast cancer treatment, which apparently is not covered by insurance. The health ministry has responded to us saying it does fund some kind of appropriate drug here, but we don't really know what the disconnect is. So we wanted to just reach out to Jennifer herself and get her to share her story. So she's here now. Jennifer, hello. How are you?
Hi. Just so you know, it's Beharrell, but that's all good.
Oh, Beharrell. Thank you so much. Jennifer Beharrell, nice to meet you. And
Hi.
You're going on quite the journey right now, aren't you?
Yes. Yeah, very scary. Yeah.
You've got an unusual breast cancer. What's it called?
So I have invasive ductal carcinoma, which is kind of like the basic biatch of breast cancers, but I have stage 3, grade 3 inflammatory, which makes it very fast growing. It went from about 6 centimeters on my ultrasound to almost 6 inches in the last just over 6 weeks. So very serious.
Wow. And the treatment for it has been another part of the journey, which is why you've turned to crowdfunding. Could you talk to us about what happened there and why you've had to go this route?
So my brilliant oncologist has recommended a TCHP therapy, which is the combination of 2 chemotherapy drugs and 2 other drugs. I think they're like an immunotherapy, but I don't know. I'm not the expert. But Perjeta is what it's commonly known as. It has 2 names. But the province of BC, my oncologist reached out to me and said that they declined funding for that Perjeta. And I said to him, well, how much is it? He said, it's approximately $4,000 a dose, and I need 6 of them. So that came to $24,000. So, of course, I almost fell off my chair.
Yeah.
So he said, in the next coming days, you'll be contacted by this on-care program. So they gave me the drug number to plug onto my private insurance to see if they provided any coverage, and they do not cover the drug. And so then the next step was on-care was finally able to come through with 60% of the funding, which made my portion still $12,600. So, yeah.
Sorry, what was that amount again that you need to raise?
So $12,600 for the Perjeta is what it ended up being in the end. So I just paid for my first dose yesterday, $3,600 for the first dose, and I need 5 after that, $1,800 each.
Ooh.
So that comes to $9,000 plus the $3,600 is $12,600.
So with that said, you've got to raise this money. You've turned to one of those crowdfunding websites. I'm on looking at it right now. It's a GoFundMe page, and it looks like you've raised about $26,000 as of this very moment, is what I'm looking at, just from the community rallying together for this. How does that feel to see that number?
Well, I am just blown away. Like, it brings me to tears. It's not just this drug. There's many out-of-pocket expenses because I have to travel to Victoria, and because they can't get me into my hospital soon enough up here. And so, the money's just funneling out of my account. So I have exactly what I need. We've actually shut down the accepting donations now because I'm not looking to profit here.
Right,
and
yeah.
anything that I don't need, I'm going to find a way to donate that. But we've got what we need now, and I just cannot believe the generosity of strangers. And, I've talked to my local MLA when they saw the news article on Czech News. there's at least 5 people in my riding alone that saw the news article and reached out and were facing this very same problem and had to pay for their own treatment privately. And some of them did GoFundMes as well. So like my MLA said, it's like GoFundMe healthcare. You know, it's just ridiculous.
Oh, that was sort of coining a new phrase in the New World Order of where there's a gap in what you're covered for and how much the medication actually costs. And, you know, we feel for you because we can hear the emotion in your voice, but we can also feel your resiliency. Jen, can you explain a little bit more about this kind of cancer? Because this does not manifest as a lump. It manifests as a rash. Is that not right?
Well, I found a lump, I would guesstimate it was about the size of a quarter on May 23rd.
Oh.
And my skin was really red and hot. And so I thought I had an infection in one of my ducts or something. So I went to urgent care that night. Thank God I did, because I couldn't get in to see my doctor for 2 weeks. So I'm glad I didn't wait. And he agreed it was something that needed to be looked at urgently. So I had a mammogram and an ultrasound on June the 3rd. And then they wanted to do a biopsy because it was flagged for, you know, it looked very bad. So they did a biopsy on June 5th. And on June 9th, I got the call from my doctor confirming that it is invasive ductal carcinoma. And it was given a grade 3 at that time. I didn't know the stage yet until I got my CT scan. But then I had a bone scan. So far, it's not metastasized.
Good.
But it is in my lymph nodes, they figure. So I had a biopsy the day before yesterday, and I'm still waiting on the results of that. And I had my surgery for my port install yesterday. So everything's moving very fast, and I'm very grateful for that. And my doctors and everyone I've encountered at that hospital is just amazing. And I can't believe the government and how they treat our healthcare professionals. It's another thing that I'm so upset about. Everyone that I have on my side, I just have such an amazing team behind me, and I'm so grateful.
Oh, we feel for you in this. Would you consider reopening that fundraiser if you needed more money?
I don't think I will need more money. I'm praying I won't. But you know, down the road, if something unusual came up, possibly. But you know, I'm not trying to make money here. I just wanted to cover my costs so I don't end up bankrupt. And you know, with this drug, I'll be given like an 80+% of a survival rate. And if I don't do this therapy with all the drugs combined, I've been told that I have less than a 20% chance. So that's why, out of desperation, my best friend set up the GoFundMe, because I really had no other option. You know, like I'm not exactly made of money. And another sickening thing to me is that how do elderly people navigate this healthcare system when everything's on computer or cell phone? You know, it's heartbreaking to me that there's so many people that don't know how to navigate this. I'm grateful that I do know how to use a computer, and I've been on the phone. I've had to charge my phone 2-3 times a day with all the phone calls I'm making, trying to get funding, reaching out to media. It's you know, it's lit a fire under my butt, and which is kind of good because then I'm not sitting around just thinking about my cancer. But I'm doing this because I want people in the future to not have to go through what I'm going through. That's my goal. Even if it doesn't help me, I want to help people in the future.
Well, hopefully, telling your story will maybe make a review happen. Maybe something could change. And actually, Lisa, do you mind if I make you late for the news here?
No, go right ahead. This is very important.
It's news time, but we're just going to put that off for a moment. Because, Jennifer, I just want to ask this one last question of you. And I don't expect you to have the answer to this, because this is the question that everybody wants to know now is like, how come, again, you had to go this route? And it's great that you've had the success. Wonderful that the community came together, raised this $26,000 for you to hopefully be enough money to get you through and get this treatment that you said gives you the chance of survival. But why did you have to go this route still remains sort of the question I'm sure everybody's asking. And we did ask the BC government. We reached out to the Ministry of Health, and they responded to us that cancer drugs are publicly funded in BC. They're covered through BC Cancer. Before a new cancer drug can be publicly funded, it undergoes a rigorous review process involving Health Canada and so on and so forth. And there's a particular drug that they do fund called, and I'm going to mispronounce this, pertuzumab?
Pertuzumab. That is the other name for this drug, Perjeta.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they say they fund it. So what happened? I'm still left wondering, like, what happened here? Why did you end up having to be going the route you went?
What happened? It's a funding issue. And I'm no expert, but I loaded this onto ChatGPT, and they do fund Perjeta if it's taken after surgery. But if I have surgery first, it'll spread. So that's why my doctor, my oncologist, recommends that I do this chemo plan ahead of time to kill the Herceptin, because I have it's a HER2 positive cancer. So they want me to do the chemo treatment ahead of surgery. If I do it the other way around, then it will spread. So they do not fund it if you have to take it before surgery. It's just simply like a funding issue, like a policy issue. And that's the fight that I want to have changed, that they will fund this before surgery, because I don't have the option, you know?
Well, I'm glad we could help spread that message here. And if you get any updates, if this progresses at all and you want to continue talking about it, do reach back out to us. We'd be glad to get you back on the radio and follow your journey, okay?
Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
And again, I thank you all. I thank all the listeners, my healthcare professionals, and the nurses. You know, what they're doing to the nurses in this province is just disgusting. Huh. And I hope that changes too.
Jennifer, and it was Beharrell?
Yes.
Okay, got it right this time. Jennifer Beharrell from Courtney.
Yeah.
Congratulations on getting the money you need, and good luck in your journey trying to maybe make some change here so people don't have to go through the same route you went.
Thank you so much for your time.
Okay.
Thank you.
Wow. Well, Lisa,
check back in on her and see how her battle's going too.
And again, I just want to stress that it was interesting to hear her say that she's here on the radio today, not asking for more money. Mm-hmm. She does have this GoFundMe, but she's closed it because she says if she's got enough, she doesn't want to profit off this. She doesn't want people spending money that they don't need to help her when she's already achieved what she needs, which I think is a great thing to hear. So don't rush off to GoFundMe and try to give her money. She's not asking for that.
But there's other people where the gap is still very real for them. So fighting for their lives and also trying to find the money to be able to fight for their lives.
Yeah, it's some interesting stuff brought up there. I can't say I have all the answers, but it does sound like there's some maybe a policy to be discussed further, and we'll continue to follow that.